I was going to throw this originally, but I was professionally advised not to, so I'm not going to do that. If you're wondering what the apple's for, it doesn't really serve a large purpose. A couple years ago, during an era infamously known as COVID-19, my grade 5 class would coincidentally watch TEDx talks during online learning. We would have watched about 100 presentations during that time, but if you were to ask me then and now what any of them were about, I genuinely could not tell you. But in fact, there was one person I remember, or to be specific, one thing I remember. The speaker was talking about how to engage your audience with a hook through things like this. And even though I understood nothing of what he was saying at the time and hardly remember, that part stuck with me even 6 years later. But that raises a bigger question, doesn't it? Why do we need things like this in the first place? Why do we need these hooks, stimulation, movement, and attention, grabbing tricks, just to keep people listening? And that brings me to today's topic, a global phenomenon known as the attention span crisis. Why do we do things that need attention in the first place? Dr. Gloria Mark, a psychologist at the University of California, stated that about 47 seconds are spent on a single screen task before someone clicks onto something else. This is down from 2.5 minutes in 2004. And within seconds, our brains begin wandering to find something new, or they just completely zone out. And do we really know why? But the bottom line is, attention spans have gotten so smaller that keeping someone's attention is harder than ever. So if we can forget information that quickly, or lose interest in things that are spoken directly to us, what makes any of us memorable? More importantly, what actually keeps someone's interest long enough for them to remember us in the first place? We as a society can barely sit through a conversation, a meeting, a class, or anything without doing something else. Some people are so overstimulated that sitting with their thoughts for 10 minutes feels unbearable. I confess, I am some people. And the unfortunate reality is that it's such a huge problem that there is no easy solution to it. Sure, maybe there might be something available in the future, but for now, all we have is ourselves, which means that the solution might not be controlling every distraction around us, but changing how we show up for the things that matter. Standing here, part of me is wondering what you said, if you remember what I said just a couple seconds ago. That is probably the star of that said memory regardless. This talk is being filmed and will be posted online. Most people won't make it past the first 5 seconds, let alone 60, if I didn't catch them with metaphorical flailing hands in the first 10. That's why making yourself unforgettable is one of the first steps to making everything around you memorable too. We usually think that the solution to shrinking attention spans is productivity hacks, deleting apps, moving to the forest without Wi-Fi, and becoming an urban legend. But attention is based on mindset and connection. Think about it. Most of us can barely remember what we did a week before, but we can remember one random moment or a conversation from ages ago because of how it made us feel and the impact that it had. That's memorable, and all that comes back to the focus you're able to create. The kind where you actually listen instead of planning your next sentence, eye contact, and speaking like you're in no rush and you're not being timed. You're really not, unless you're in special circumstances. Because right now, we live in a world where everything is fighting to be noticed at the exact same time. That's the reality. Personal commitments, social media, every third video having an absurd amount of content because we can't survive with a singular thing on the screen anymore. And after a while, you stop choosing what matters because everything is, well, boring. So, the people we really remember are the people who are fully there. Becoming more human again and being more intentional with how you act and how you carry yourself are the first steps to making everything else memorable too. And in a world where everything is competing to be the loudest thing in the room, the people who are fully there are those to remember. Although, keep in mind, when in doubt, props work great.